Hi guys. So in this video, this is a little off topic with respect to Java and all. I'm talking with respect to when you are into the IT sector and there you may face a lot of challenges, right? So with respect to soft skills and how you should have a conversation with your clients and with your managers. So those all aspects we'll be discussing on this. So I'm telling with respect to my 7 years experience level, like what all type of challenges you may face in your IT career once you start your journey. Okay. So as soon as you step into the IT sector, the things will be changing. Okay, it will not be same as you are in your college days, as you are in your school days. It will not be similar to that. Okay, so there will be certain set of expectations that has been set by the clients or by the managers or by the leads. So you should be abiding by those principles, okay, those ethics, what they are expecting from us. Okay, and in doing that, there are a lot of challenges that we may face. Okay, we think that we are doing the right things, but actually we are not doing that. So what those 9 things that we should be taking care of in our mind before actually stepping into the IT sector, or if you are in IT sector, it's fine, you should learn this so that you don't repeat these mistakes again. Okay, so let me share my screen and let me tell you what all type of mistakes we all people generally make in our IT career. Okay, so let's get started. So now let's discuss this 9 habits that makes you dumb in your IT career. Okay. So let's see what all things are there, that what all practices we think we are doing right, but actually we are doing wrong. Okay. So let's understand what all these things are. First thing is we are not proofreading the thing. So whatever we are sending mail across, let's suppose some task has been assigned to you to complete this before the deadline. Okay, and let's suppose you have done that also, and you have to do some mail like to fetch the information from the client, or you want to fetch some information from other teams. Okay, and you are giving some irrelevant information which should not be given. Okay, that's not the way that needs to be moving ahead with. Okay, so you should be knowing what all type of things you should be telling to that person to get the information, what all things you have to play it smart. Okay, so those type of things you should be understanding first. If you don't know, try to ask from your lead or from your peers. Okay, I have written this mail, I'm trying to put it across to fetch this information, is this correct? So tell other person to go through your mail ki whether this is right or wrong. Okay, so if they are telling or your lead is telling ki yes, it's correct, you can send it across, then you can go ahead and send. Okay, or else if you are at senior position, you are knowing what all things we need to be done. Okay, and you are there in that particular company for significant period of time, then that this thing is very much crucial, you have to do proofreading. Okay, so some have you gone through those escalation mails? There are some escalations going on with respect to certain kind of mails, right? Ki you should not be sending this kind of mail, or this thing you could have done it by yourself, but you are asking. Okay, so these kind of things actually gets escalated to the manager level. So what we have to do in that scenario, we have to do proofreading before actually sending the mail. We have to actually read it 2 times or 3 times. Okay, because once you send that mail, you cannot unsend it. Okay, so before sending mail, try to think twice, thrice, 4 times before actually sending, so that you are confirmed from your side ki you are doing the correct thing. Okay, you haven't misspelled anything, or you haven't asked for certain thing which should not be asked. So always and always do proofreading before actually sending mail. It will help you in your entire IT career. Okay, so it takes time, it takes years to maintain that wisdom. Okay, to create that designation, to create that dignity. But it takes one mail away to pour it all down. Okay, so don't put down your dignity basically. So whenever and whatever you are doing, try to think it twice, thrice, 4 times, 10 times before actually doing that. Okay, think it like you are representing your company. Okay, and if you are doing one single mistake, it can drain down all your successes. Okay, so this is important thing. Always do proofreading before actually sending mail, or in a chat also. If you are sending any kind of conversation chat to your seniors or to your lead, okay, or to your managers, always do proofreading in teams chat also. So this is a thing that I wanted to tell you. Okay, it's a secret. Second thing is cutting someone during the meeting. So right, whenever we are on the meeting, so it may be like a stand-up call. Okay, it may be like a normal dev catch-up call. It can be like any kind of call. So before actually going to the meeting, we have to make our mind very clear that we should not be cutting anybody. First, let the other person complete their conversation. Okay, and if you are something contradictory to that other person, what that person is speaking, try to understand what that other person's point of view is. After understanding what that person is trying to say, then try to create a balance. like after understanding, like yes, I have gone through your lines, what you are trying to say, then I want to put my viewpoint on this, and I think we can understand this and we can come to some mutual conclusion. Okay, and don't try to cut anybody in the meeting, and don't try to put any negative comments about anybody in the meeting in front of everybody. It creates a false position for you. Okay, so don't do that at any point. If you want to say anything, try to say to that person in person. Okay, in one on one. Don't try to put allegations or put uh, or tell anything wrong about that person in front of the entire audience of team. So that doesn't go well. So it's correctly said, right? If you want to praise anybody, praise in public, and if you want to tell something wrong about that person that he or she is doing, say in person, in one on one. Okay, so don't cut someone during the meeting. Try to be as simple, as generous as possible. Third is joining meeting late. So this is actually a very wrong practice, and it actually creates a very bad impression in the mind of the manager or the lead. Like if you are doing it on a consistent basis, once or twice I can understand, we can all can understand we are working, so maybe there is a traffic or maybe some other scenarios, you have come late and you have joined meeting late. But if you are doing it on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, then it creates a problem. Okay, so not repeat the same mistake again and again, otherwise they will not give you a second chance. They will not have a conversation with you at all. They can directly tell to your manager, they can directly take the decision against you. Okay, so don't do this small mistake. These small mistakes is very small for you, but it may not be small for your manager. Okay, so you should be very much cautious in this. Okay, don't ever think like whatever small mistake I am doing, this is actually small. No, whatever is small for you, it may not be small for that other person. So always think with respect perspectives. Okay, so the thing which you are having some perspective about, that same thing's perspective might change from person to person. Okay, so you should be understanding that, and you are into the professional world. Okay, in the professional world, nobody is thinking about anybody else. Okay, we have to be independently thinking about that whatever I am doing, that is correct or not, that it may or may not impact or others or not. Those things we have to think before actually doing anything in this professional journey. Okay, so this is very important and creates a nuance into the mind of the interviewer, like you are doing something wrong. Okay, you are doing it on a daily basis, and this might not be good for our team. So they will think as an entire team. So if you join late, so it will create bad impression for others, and others will also start thinking that if he comes late or she comes late, I can also come late. Okay, so this creates a bad impression for the entire team members as well as for the lead of that particular project. Okay, so don't join meetings late. Once or twice or thrice is fine, and in some random situation it is fine, but regularly if you are doing this, then it creates a bad impression for a long run. Okay, for sustainability purpose I am telling. So always think long term, don't think short term. Then you are missing deadlines. Okay, so if you want to let the manager know that this particular work cannot be completed at this particular time interval because this is not at all possible, try to convey that information beforehand. Try to communicate with your lead or with your manager on a weekly basis ki this particular task cannot be done in just 3 days or 4 days. Try to just extend the deadline to 2 or 3 days at least, so that I can complete it full efficiency. That is very much important. Okay, so you can tell that like if you want I can complete it, but it will not be that much efficient. There can be some vulnerabilities or there can be some issues that can come at later stage of time. Okay, so it's better to give extra 2 or 3 days so that we don't spend months solving those issues in the production side. Okay, so if that way, if you give the comparison level, then they will understand like yes, we can give 2 or 3 days extra to solve that bigger problems that may come in future. Okay, so always try to communicate and tell like whether this is possible or this is not possible. Okay, I can understand like in the initial phase, understanding the story and telling beforehand whether it will be done or not, whether it can be done or not, it will be a little challenging. But yes, you can have a conversation and try to understand the background and then focus ahead with going ahead with your task. Okay, so once you are going ahead with the task, make sure that you are having the deadline for that and you need to complete it before that as well. So don't miss deadlines. Okay, and this is the same thing that I told you. We are not communicating with our managers and we should not do this. do that. Okay, so whenever you are missing deadlines, you think like this particular task deadline is not possible to meet, try to communicate with your manager beforehand. It creates a good impression. Don't think like they will think bad about me, like I am not able to complete it before time and they can take some strict decisions. No, it's not always the case. They also know what they are giving to you. Okay, they are also technical lead only, so they will be understanding how much is your bandwidth and how efficiently you will be able to perform that task. Okay, so based upon that, you can tell that beforehand. But if you are not telling that and you are going ahead with whatever task they have assigned to you and you are not able to complete it, that is devastating. Okay, so sometimes it creates a multifold negative impact on your career in that organization. Okay, so try to convey. Communication is very important skill in any organization. Okay, having the technical skill is fine, but having the soft skills to deliver that particular project with proper technical skills and technical expertise is also more important. Okay, so you should be able to convey communication, convey proper information with respect to your task is very much crucial. Okay, then asking same question again to lead. So what we are generally doing mistakes in our IT career. So once we have asked some question, let's suppose after 2 months or 3 months down the line, again similar kind of problem came. And there is a chance that you may forget those things, right? Whatever things you have already done 2 months or 3 months back, and you forgot that. Okay, and you haven't documented it as well. So what you will do in that scenario? You will generally go ahead and ask with your peers or with your lead, like what I have done in that time. Okay, what how to proceed ahead with this type of problems. Okay, so this is not a right way basically. So don't ask same questions again and again, because you might not be knowing, but lead knows this question has already been answered before, like some time back, maybe 1 month or 2 months back. Lead might be knowing that. Okay, so in that scenario, it creates a negative impression that I am telling the same answer to that same question again and again. So will that be feasible to have that candidate? Okay, think from the lead's perspective. They are having a lot of employees to maintain. Okay, so whenever you have gathered some information, try to create a note of it. Try to document it in the Confluence pages or in the Teams. There is a personal Teams chat section will be there where you can send message to yourself. So then and there only you can just create one small documentation like this is the process that I have followed to solve this type of problems. Okay, so in that scenario, when you have documented a thing, or you can create some Excel kind of sheet, or you can create some Word document kind of sheet. So if you do that, then at later stage of time, let's suppose after 6 months or 1 year, similar kind of problem is again popping up. In that case, you don't need to ask to your lead again the same question. You can just go ahead and see your documentation and you will get to know it, what all things you have done at that point of time. So don't ask same questions again and again. Okay, and whatever things you think that you can do it by yourself, try to do it by yourself. Try to do some research. Okay, and don't ask blunt questions like how to do it, what is this. Don't ask this type of question. Ask like, I have done some research on this particular story and I got to know this thing, and I want to acknowledge, I want to get acknowledgement from you ki whether I'm going on the right path or not. Okay, and I want to solve, as per this story I need to solve this problem. So as per my understanding, this is the current requirement. So this is the right understanding from my side. I want just an acknowledgement from your side. So like this, if you tell to your lead, okay, so lead will understand like, yes, he has done some research on this user story. Okay, and he just want to know whether he is on the right path or not. So if you as a lead thinking like, yes, this person is on the right path, he just need right guidance, then you will be very much more than happy to help that person to explain whether he is on right path or not, what all things he may need to do before actually solving that problem. Okay, so it actually creates a win-win situation for you as well as for that other person. You are saving that other person's time. Always think that in IT sector there is always a time constraint, not only for you but for all the people in your team. So always respect other people's time and ask only beneficial and important questions that the other person may think like, yes, if I'm answering this question, I am also learning in that same way. Okay, in the initial stage as a learner, this may not be the case. Okay, you may need to ask few things, some blunt questions also that you may need to ask, but in going down the line like 4 months, 5 months, you should ask some important questions. Okay, you should ask some wise questions that you will learn on a due course of time. At that point of time, you will not be entertained if you are asking just blind questions like what is this, what is that. Okay, I hope you are getting the answer to that. Then be careful with your mails. As I've already explained you before, whatever mail you are sending, try to be very much cautious, whether it contains any sensitive information or not, whether those type of mails should be sent to that person whom you are addressing. Okay, try to see the context, try to see the grammatical mistakes that is there or not, try to see whether that lines are proper or not, which you have written, the tense and all is proper or not. Okay, try to see like it's you are not writing in the form of paragraph, you're writing in the form of proper bullet points, and each line should not cross more than 2 or 2.5 lines. And see like whether you are giving the entire set of information that is being required by that particular person to give you certain information. Okay, so those things you should be knowing before actually moving ahead while sending your mails. Okay, and if you are facing any kind of doubt, try to talk with your manager, try to talk with your peers or with your lead before actually sending mail if you are not clear with it. Okay, so it will help you safeguard your career in that organization. Okay, and yeah, this is the most crucial things. We just tend to forget to lose our temper. Okay, we just tend to lose our temper and we just start arguing. Like even if it's not your fault, we should not argue. Okay, whenever you are in a meeting or you are in one-on-one also, you may think like that person has done bad with me, that person has escalated some of my mails or is doing some wrong with my decisions whatever I am taking. So don't argue in that scenario, because that person is at a senior level. Okay, so if you argue also and you are trying to prove your point also, maybe you are not knowing the other person's character. Maybe under ego he may say some negative points against you to their boss. Okay, and what will happen in that scenario? It will impact your career in that organization. Okay, so don't ever go ahead for doing any argument. Okay, try to solve it with as simplicity as possible, be as generous as possible. And if you think like you are being struck again on a regular basis and you are not being allowed to prove your point as well, so it's time to say goodbye. Okay, so that's only I wanted to tell to you. And always love your skill and not your job. So most of them will be started arguing with me like what you are telling. I will not love my job. How is that possible? No, I'm not telling to not love your job. I'm telling to love your skills, because in worst case scenarios, that company may fire you. You never know that, right? So always focus upon increasing your skill sets. Always focus upon learning things gradually as soon as you grow in your career, and don't sit in your comfort zone thinking like I am now good. Now nothing will happen to my career. So it will not work out that way. You don't know what is going ahead. In IT sector, nothing is certain. Everything is uncertain. Today, everything is fine. Tomorrow, you may get sent, you may get some email that you are fired. Okay. Or you may be delivered to some new project. It may happen. I have also faced those kind of scenarios. Okay. So from my experience, I'm telling you, always and always try to learn some new skills every month. Okay. Don't just sit idle and think like company is helping me, this company is paying me my salary, I'm doing my job, so everything will go fine. No, it will not work out the same way always. Okay, so always and always focus upon increasing your skill sets on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, and try to analyze ki what all things I have worked upon, how have I grown for from next 2 months or 6 months. Just see and analyze yourself. Okay, and if you are thinking like from past 6 months I haven't done anything great or I haven't upskilled myself, then it's a time to move ahead. Okay, because company when sees like there is some benefit in you, then only they are paying you. Once the company seems like you are not a good fit, they will not take a second chance to throw you out. So always and always love your skill but not your job. I hope you got a context of this point. So this was it for this video. I hope you have understood the concepts. So it was not with respect to Java, it was with respect to maintaining the dignity and maintaining your wisdom across your career. Okay. So how you can do that, I was talking with respect to that only. I hope I am able to deliver what I wanted to speak to all of you. So it was good. It was nice talking to you. So we'll be seeing you in the next videos with next set of some Java topics now. So it's Devjit Roy signing off. Bye bye.